All right, a little late start getting into the meeting room, but we will call our meeting to order. This is the Community Preservation Committee. It's Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. This is a hybrid meeting. We are recording, so everyone must know that they are being recorded and this will be seen at a later date. I'm supposed to say all that now. The agenda looks long, but I don't think it will be. We have news and mail, member and public input. We have Lyle Webster with us to discuss the Webster land acquisition. Just a short town meeting review. And then of course, put budget discussion on just so we can always discuss our budget. The same with planning for the future to meet the 3% CPA threshold. Any projects that are coming, minutes, and then the future meeting, and then we will adjourn. So we'll start off. News and mail. I have no news. I have no mail. Anyone have? Any member input? I sent an email from the coalition about the trust fund, the state trust fund, and it sounds like they're still trying to make sure we have enough money in the trust fund. So we're supposed to contact our senator. I think there was a link there. To make sure that the towns get a good sized pot this year. So hopefully they're usually pretty good champions around here anyways to make sure that happens. Other than that, I have nothing, any public. I guess we have no public.
Actually, Carolyn, I had a comment as a member.
Hang on, I got two more people coming in, Rob and Solomon. To do like double duty now. Okay, Anna, go ahead, Robin. I just admitted Rob Houston and Solomon Marini.
All right, so my comment is really more a question. So I'm also a member of the Littleton Affordable Housing Trust, and we received a summary of the budget for that particular trust a couple months ago, and we've been working through it. But there were a couple of items in there that were essentially funds that could be made available, but it doesn't sound like they've moved over yet. And so I just wanted to ask if maybe you know anything about it, Carolyn or anybody else on CPC. They were dollars from Jones Meadow, Weber Village, Cooper Farm, and Grimes Lane. And so I do want to talk with finance once they're available to us again to be able to ask when those dollars could be moved over. But I wanted to find out if you knew anything about it or anybody else on CPC.
Is that what we voted in at town meeting last year?
I don't think so.
Bartlett
It was like $465,000 that were supposed to come, was it?
So there was a 467,000 last year, you said?
Something like that. I think on my computer that was done.
Yeah, we did vote for something like that.
Yeah, let me log on to the town website.
Anna, while she's looking at that, this is Mitt here. Can you tell me what the properties were? You mentioned Joe's Meadow. John.
Sure, certainly. It was Jones Meadow, Weber Village, Cooper Farm, and Grimes Lane. And that totaled 476,000.
Anna, were these mitigation funds from the projects that were put into CPA?
So they were funds in lieu of
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know we voted in something.
In lieu of what? Sorry.
in lieu of actually building the affordable housing based off of their particular development.
And the funds are to move over to the CP fund?
Well, let me see if I can find exactly what
That's like town meeting report from last year.
I guess the question is from where? Is it from the individual developers?
Yes, so it said, so in the document that I have, it says additional affordable housing funds that could be made available, and then it lists them all.
So the money actually goes to the town, and that what we're asking is for the town to route it through CPC to get the match. But the intention is that money should have support affordable housing.
Correct. Correct.
That was the purpose of getting it, and it's the Affordable Housing Trust's intention to use it.
Yeah. So if this isn't something that's readily known, I'm happy to put this into an email and maybe someone else from maybe somebody from CPC can check into it and see if
Yeah.
it rings a
I
bell.
think I have the information at home. I left without my computer, but I'm pretty sure that we had at the last town meeting, not 2023, but 2022, that went through. I was trying to see.
So then it's just a question of beating up on the treasurer to make the transfer.
Right, and with all the changes at town hall, it may just have slipped under the.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah, and
Great.
I'll look at that when I get home.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So that was my only member input. Thank you.
Bartlett, what do we need to ask the town treasurer to do?
Well, the money has been given to the town with the intention of its funding low-income housing. So the treasurer has to move it from town funds to the community preservation committees for you to pass it through to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Along with the state match.
Hmm.
Well, the state match will show up next year,
Yeah, okay,
but the state match, I think, goes directly to the community preservation committee based on what the input is.
And what's
Is
go ahead. I just wondered what the eventuality was, that it become, what's the language for that it end up as what?
In the community housing.
And the affordable housing, it should go to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Okay, specifically the trust.
Well,
Through the CPC.
through the CPC, though. I mean, eventually it will move. And this is why it's important for us to get updated spreadsheets and on all the numbers, because then we can track and see if that stuff actually gets, given to us. But I don't know when we'll get
I agree, Carolyn. That would be very good.
yeah. Maybe I went through special town meetings.
Anna, your tracking sheet might be very helpful in this case. If you could get a copy, or I could get a copy to the Community Preservation Committee for their use.
Mhm.
Yes, I would agree. That would be helpful. Maybe we even add a column to that sheet that identifies any dollars like this.
Right. That
Yeah, I found it was in special town meeting, 437,000 and came from 350,000 from Cooper Farm, 42,000 from Jones Meadow, and 45,000 from Weber Village.
470,000.
437 in total.
Thank you.
That was Article 8 of the special town meeting. So it was voted, we just have to make sure that it got deposited. Did those numbers agree with what you had, Anna? I don't think you had more.
Yes, they do. Well, I had the number that we had for Jones Meadow was 45 and you said it was 42. And Weber was supposed to be 51 and you have 45. And the Cooper Farm of 350 is correct. So yeah, so again, being able to identify that those numbers that we have don't seem to match up with the numbers that were in that special town meeting, Article 8, and then to make sure that they did in fact get transferred over to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Yeah, so let's verify. Into CPA. Okay. Great, thanks for bringing that up. It's
So should that be something that Chair Harvey talks about from the Affordable Housing Trust point of view, or that you would address it from the CPC point of view?
I think our committee should probably address it, because if it was voted to go into our funds,
Yeah.
we should definitely follow up with the status of.
yeah, we should. I'll find out who's in charge of the bank right now.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
No, that's
Thank you,
good.
Anna.
And the same thing with whatever we just voted money into blended funds this year for,
Oh, from the water department, that,
the water department, thank you.
Yeah.
We should make sure the same thing, that money gets transferred into the CPA funding. And it's not just sitting out there in free cash for them. So,
Yep.
I'll do for both,
I
okay.
want you to note that in the minutes.
Yeah, we should just make reminder to follow up on the light and water department gift. Make sure that it gets deposited to CPA. Anything else on the subject? Okay. Lyle Webster. Lyle is asked to come before us and talk about the possible town acquisition of his property, and I guess I will just introduce you and have you give us your spiel. Doesn't matter, I guess, where you are. We're not televised live, so if you'd like to come up closer, that would be fine.
Well, I'm so happy to begin here. I didn't get to for the select board presentation, but these are the family homes. So my family has owned both of the oldest homes in town, and we presently still own this one. Lyle Webster from 33 Bulkley Road, that's 25 Bulkley Road, where I grew up. And a few pieces of story for you tonight, since I believe a community preservation committee is about collecting story. So I think we all know about the stories in here. Many of you know, but those of you who don't, that's Mom. She wrote a lot of these stories. In fact, she wrote all of the stories in this book, her 250th program. And I get to be the one who follows down this long lineage to the present day. I think I can take that off for now. So I am only too pleased to be here, and my family has been on this land since before there was a Littleton, Acton, and Boxborough. And today I come before you as the last in my line that would like to make sure it stays preserved. So we are over here in this corner of town, and I worked as co-executor when Mom passed in December 1st of 2020 to take care of all of the heirs. And co-executors, we are 5 siblings, and my sister Lynn and I, co-executors, had to look for the highest and best use and take care of all of the heirs of the family estate. Sister Lynn did her due diligence to figure out what the back 40 is worth in retail sales for development, until such point as I said, all right, stop right there. We're not developing the land. So my wife and I, Gretchen and I, bought out the other 4 siblings to preserve the land. And so I come before you tonight to say you all get a part in that as the town moves forward to see what is correct and right for the whole of the town to acquire another, I call it the back 40, but it's 36.5 acres present day.
Good.
So I can expound but y'all get it. We can talk further. But I get to serve on master plan implementation committee with Anna. And acquiring this land would serve no fewer than 9 of the 67 goals in our town's master plan. And besides the fact that I think it's very cool to have a part in architectural history and the colonies, it's great to go back to 1700, but the fact of the matter is it goes for centuries beyond that too. So happy to take anyone who wants to come and see. Andrew has walked the property, Anna has walked the property. Happy to take a tour to let anyone see. So we still have the home in the family, and then the back 40 that my grandfather farmed after the Oakleys. So Calvin Blanchard Jr. Purchased the oldest home, and that's my family too. And then went on to found Littleton First Baptist Church. So yeah, I feel like I belong, but I think there's something pretty wonderful about the land itself. So most recent history book around this place. So Dan Boudian, working with Strong Bear, has been coming to the property. So a couple of pieces for you from Littleton's history regarding the oldest home. So 564 Newtown Road. Parker's grandmother, Hannah Ford, born in 1786, who grew up in the house and married Calvin Blanchard Jr. in 1803. She and Calvin purchased the home from her father, Samuel Ford, in 1812. And she relates a story of having actually had the Indians come on the property and sharing from their wealth. And rolling back to a little bit further back in the history, Thomas Blanchard was in the Littleton area as early as 1736 and was part of the surveying work laying things out there. So, my friends, the cool thing is, besides the home and the property that has been farmed through all those years, Calvin Sr. and his brother Luther are the ones that we honor up at Liberty Square each April 19th as they marched on to the Revolution. Luther was the first man shot on the Old North Bridge. He's on the flag when the Minutemen from Boxborough are there presenting. Didn't drop there. He made it to the Battle of Bunker Hill. Calvin lived. Therefore, there was a Calvin Jr. who got to buy that, and therefore I am. And as it comes to you today, the property remains, and my wife and I would like nothing better than have it to be preserved in all perpetuity, because I love it. I won't be here forever. So if the town would take it back in their loving embrace, there's not only all of that colonial history, but Dan's been working with us, and there are more than a dozen ceremonial stone landscape features on the property. So we'd like to seek out a special conservation restriction for that. So you're all welcome to come for a tour, as Andrew has. Happy to walk you through, happy to show you all of it. And this is all moving its way toward the fall town meeting, when I'm only too happy to be presenting our land for acquisition by the town. There you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Comments, questions?
I will say that I did walk the property with Lyle. It's a beautiful property, a lot of just amazing natural characteristics. It's very diverse. And we did look at a lot of historically significant areas of the site. And it's an amazing piece of property.
Thank you, Andrew. As cool as all the history is too, it also ties together the natural corridor. So if you make your way from Long Lake through Browns Woods, through the town forest, through Balsam Lane and the Durkee Farm, a little bit of road time to cross the railroad tracks of Route 2, but then you get to our property. Our property then ties around Taylor to the Beaverbrook Meadows, and that ties across to Whitcomb Avenue. And my father's side of the family, the Sudbury Valley Trustees properties on Whitcomb Avenue, all the way over to Oak Hill. So having that natural corridor is something wonderful in and of itself. And there are big to tiny animals all over the property. So I would seek very much to want to preserve that, as well as all the history and features that I love for the land. So thank you. happy to have the chance to get you up to speed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Lyle, do you know who's gonna champion is that going through conservation? Is conservation actually doing
Yes, so the Conservation Commission has been getting the process moving. I believe that there is an appraisal that is underway at the moment.
Mhm.
So once we get that back, we can really start digging in and yeah, working towards it.
Yes. Architect from having grown up in that old house for over 35 years, architect, but having done as much development, I'm happy to contribute to some undevelopment to balance everything else we're doing in town these days. Happy to make that contribution.
Thank you. It's just so special that your family is willing to, offer this to the town and to see it preserved. I mean, not many people would do that. It's such a special situation, and thank you so much.
Thank
Well,
you.
especially with the history of it, interesting.
So are you going before all the town boards, or is that
Many as will have me.
like the select board, planning board?
I already met with the select board,
Okay.
planning board, and Bartlett know all about it, and happy to meet with them too if they like. But here is certainly a necessary step along the way. So champions, cheerleaders, welcome you all on board to say this would be a good thing for town.
I commend you and your wife for stepping forward in your family situation too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah, it would be nice to be so generous, but you had to buy out the other 4 siblings. So that's why we're here talking about fair market value today. So that's what we're doing to make it all fair and equal for townwide.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Did what we need to do to preserve it.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, and I think we've discussed it, leading up that we would most likely be willing to, contribute how much it is. We're gonna have to get final figures, after town meeting and everything to see how much we have in the buckets, probably, hopefully by well, books aren't even gonna close till July. So probably July, end of July, we might have a better sense of what's in the fund,
What we actually have on hand.
what we actually have
Yeah,
on
in
hand, right?
Yeah.
Because we would be able to bond out
Yeah.
if needed.
Yeah, but if we could see what we have in that in undesignated, like we did with the Brown property, I think we took money out of both buckets.
Yeah. Many buckets, as I understand it.
Yeah.
I certainly do not know how interdepartmentally all this works, but leave that to
That-
you, just given this
That
chance.
is the technical term.
I have a question for Lyle, if I could.
Yeah, Lyle, Bartlett has a question.
Hi, Bartlett.
Hello. I'm just wondering, I didn't know about you mentioned, stone landscapes or features that were made by the Native Americans. I was just wondering if you have if archaeologists or experts in that stuff have come out and documented that and appraised it and, identified what is actually there and what its purpose was and that kind of thing.
So the answer is yes. So Dan came out and Dan brought out Jim and Mary Gage, and they have created an extensive report tracing back all the deeded rights and all the history and everything else. So the 2 that actually wrote the book on ceremonial stone landscape have been themselves. So yes, all of these have been documented, and there are more. And the last thumbs up will be from none other than Strong Bear himself when he's able to make the trip out when he's not signing books.
Thank you.
He's moving, Strong Bear's moving to Littleton,
Yes.
Is he?
up to the Terra Delaware.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's all very cool. Fun to tie it all together.
Any other questions? Oh, I know you came in at the end, but.
I was listening.
Were you listening? Okay. So I guess the next step for us is just to kind of wait until we hear again from you all, but I think definitely we have a vote of confidence from us and,
Sure, select board, town administrator, conservation commissions, all working along through. So as it makes its way back, I'm sure you'll hear maybe before I do.
yeah, we'll let you know.
There you go.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on that? Or-
I just have a quick comment. I just wanted to say that I think in Littleton, we are very lucky to be able to have still sort of these pristine pieces of property. And I think that this one would be pretty unique to be able to add as a public space, simply because it has been in private ownership for so many years. And to be able to suddenly have it available, I think is again a real jewel for the town, something that is very unique and rare. So good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Maybe we could organize a tour, a walk with some of us and any other town committee folks or whatever over the summer.
I would love that. And I didn't begin where I usually begin since I had so much to say, but my family is the second family among the second oldest home in town. So the Balkans had it for 2 centuries, and then my grandfather bought it in 1919 when he got out of the Great War. So as Rob and Anna have pointed out, most people in town don't even know about it. That it's been in private ownership forever, century plus for my family and a couple of centuries before. So yes, we'd be happy to have you out for a walk to let you see it.
Good, yeah, be in touch. Yeah. Wonderful. Perfect. Next item is town meeting review. I mean, there's not much to.
Should we have to leave it open?
to leave
So,
it, yeah.
You just make your presence known.
Yeah. You'll
So intimidating.
Town meeting review, our article got on the consent calendar, so it went right through. There were no questions, so not much to review. I guess and how things have gone lately.
very quick town meeting. Very quick.
It was a good town meeting.
It's the whole parade.
Oh,
Oh, really?
that's it. I haven't heard, of course, the budget director's position is still open, I believe. So I haven't had any updates from that office. Yeah, she just started.
Or yeah, I guess just maybe starting.
So maybe we can make contact with her. Since she's got the money, that's probably someone that we will want to talk with because we'll need to find out, maybe this is where to start with. I don't know how much noise this outlet picks up on it. It's almost like put it in a jar. Or a little.
Oh, no worries.
Different kinds of bottom.
Share the whole rest of the.
Say anything to them?
Can you put the door ajar? Oh, Linda, I.
Yeah, there's some shares.
That would appreciate it when canceling the doors of the public. And then thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
I must. The next item is just planning for the future to meet the 3%. I think we had, where we left off, we thought after everything settled down after town meeting, that we would get an audience with the select board. Or do we want to do a small meet with them?
That, I think that would probably be a good first step, would be to meet with the chair and chairs and maybe a representative from each. Just to,
I'll make sure I put on that app for it.
have been more open discussion.
Yeah.
The whole meeting.
And get them up to speed. I mean, Gary Wilson's chair, now. He was around last year for the presentation, so at least he has some background on it. I will contact Gary and ask him, and then we'll see if we can get a couple of us together and that.
With which committees?
The select board, like a subcommittee of select board and community preservation to get the ball rolling on, how we really want to approach this and
Talk about the options.
The options that we have out there. I think depending on how we all feel about it, what direction we'd like to go, but we need to find out from because after that initial meeting we had with the select board, we haven't really had any conversation with them.
Would there need to be swearing in to make that subcommittee, you know?
It would depend on the number of people designated. It's less than a quorum. But I would, we'd probably want to have everybody for the discussion. Maybe we could do a joint meeting between the two boards. Maybe get on the select board agenda.
I thought we discussed having sort of a couple of people from your, a preliminary discussion, a couple of people from the select board
Oh, gotcha.
talk
Kind of
first.
see what direction we could go in.
Yeah,
Feels like
that in the Clean Lakes Committee, we had to get sworn in, and the town clerk was happy to show up at our meeting and do it right there.
I don't know that this is going as far as
It wouldn't be an
An
official
official
subcommittee.
subcommittee.
subcommittee,
yeah.
yeah, just an informal discussion.
If two members from like this committee met with somebody from the select board or a couple of select board members. I mean, 5 people is a quorum on this board.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Yeah, so we have more, a little more room, we could have 2 or 3, and then they, I think, are limited to, but that.
5 makes a quorum, but more than 2 people can't have a discussion, I thought.
It's a breach of the open meeting law if a quorum of any board is, discussing business outside of a posted public meeting. 2 people wouldn't be a quorum. 3 people would neither.
But is 3 allowed to have a conversation? I thought email could only go between 2 people,
I mean, email gets a little dicey.
or, yeah, okay.
I think
I'm testing you, man.
they push back on email because it easily gets distributed and then becomes a group discussion as opposed to
Yeah, it's a slippery
a
slope.
conversation.
Moving on from that little tidbit, but really what would be sort of the timeline for that, or?
well, soon, I would think. I mean, this is gonna go so quickly. I mean, even to go to the next, we know how. And when you start talking about municipal calendars, the stuff goes by so fast. So I think over the summer, when things are maybe a little bit quieter, it might be better for us to start, doing the discussion, so that I don't think we don't need to go to fall town meeting because we have to do the ballot. So
No, I think we
need to,
do need to go to fall. Because I think we need the decision at fall town meeting followed by the ballot in the spring. We wouldn't be able to do
That's
not
true.
enough
spring
time
town meeting.
between.
There's not enough time because
Okay.
the election is days after the spring town meeting, so it would have to be fall town meeting followed by the ballot in the spring. I believe,
Let's check on that too, just in case.
but yeah, I mean, I think we should restart that discussion as soon as
As soon as
possible.
possible, I agree.
Uh,
I will email Gary and see what his take on it and see if he will do that, and then I'll let people
So-
know.
Madam
Yeah.
Chair. So I was going to say that I do agree that the sooner the better, because that time frame for having something for the warrant comes up really fast, and it's like right after Labor Day. So ideally, like you said, if we could meet, if CPC could meet with select board at some point in June. So having those discussions started fairly soon, meeting with them in June, and then I think that the question, as you said, is how do we proceed? So it also, I think, entails having access to whomever is the appropriate person. I know that we have talked in the past about it being the finance person, but there are so many groups that sort of have a hand in this because it's tax related. So is it the tax collector? Is it the assessor or town accountant or even treasurer? So really identifying who we should be working with I think would be really great to be able to ask the individual or individuals of relevant questions.
Hmm.
Maybe even a public hearing might be helpful, just to invite the public in and get a feel for where they stand with any kind of inquiries and give them that platform to address this directly.
I think with this, we should,
Yeah, I think
we might have to.
we may have to, but I think we probably want to have at least a proposal and a direction to put out before we do that, as opposed to.
Maybe.
Right, yes.
More, more detail is better, I think is, so.
Yeah.
Having a fairly firm set of numbers and sources and those sorts of things before we go out with a big push.
Well, one of the ways that we could actually, to your point, Sal, about having some numbers put together, if we wanted to have a straw person proposal, if you will, to say, hey, town folk, what do you think about this? One way to potentially do that would be to have a booth at Third Thursdays, because they still go through July and August. So that would be 2 opportunities, as well as any other kind of public event, to get the word out, to at least solicit input, sort of gauge the temperature of what folks are thinking about whatever it is that is proposed. So that, I just want to put that idea out on the table.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea, because then we can do some education along with it.
Mhm.
When
Yes.
do third Thursdays start up?
Tomorrow,
You know?
no.
Right.
Yeah, they're May, June, July, and August.
Okay, who's gonna be at the booth tomorrow? Thank you so much.
Well, I can't do it tomorrow because Barla and I have a planning board meeting.
Historical Society program tomorrow, too. All right, so what I'll do is I'll contact Gary and see if he'll have, if he agrees that, a couple people to just get started, and then see what they're thinking as well.
Do we want to designate maybe 2 members?
Yeah, so,
Maybe Sal and Carolyn.
and if there's anyone else who really is itching to, we could probably get one more. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, well, that'll probably be easier, just logistics wise for the beginning, and then we'll get everybody involved afterwards. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, moving along. There are no other discussion points there. Projects in the pipeline, anybody know of? I think the Historical Society will, I hope, have a project for the windows. We did the eligibility a couple months ago, and we're just waiting to hear, getting permission from the select board to go ahead with the project, but we will hopefully have that for town for fall.
I think hopefully we'll have the tennis court proposal for the high school.
Yeah. So the Park and Rec is gonna fall off in their 2 courts, so that. Now that the town has purchased the Indian Hill Arts.
Yeah, so the proposal or the kind of the current drafted idea is we will have well, they'll renovate basically and actually more like tear out and then install 4 new courts at the high school.
Okay.
That will be available both to the high school and to the public. So that's the current thought.
And the cost will be split between school and rec, or unknown at this point.
Unknown.
It's all completely unrelated, or maybe partially related, but in terms of the project that was gonna be at the Cooper Farm site, it kind of got canceled. Is that kind of dead now or?
I mean, for the time being, I think yes. Certainly there is, that is a space that has, you know, opportunity to be developed into a recreational facility. I think the challenge that we're gonna continue to run into is whether we put tennis courts or a field or whatever else we decide would be a good thing to have there. We still need to put in a driveway and parking lots and the infrastructure to make it a usable space. And, you know, the tennis court project, I think, you know, rang in at $1.5 million or thereabouts. I don't imagine you're gonna get anything in there for less than that, whether it's a field or, because a fair chunk of that was the infrastructure, not the tennis courts. So
Right. Just getting-
whether it's a playing field, which would be really helpful, or you know, playground or exercise facility, or, you know, there's been a number of ideas for what could go there, but it's not going to be easy to. It's going to take an investment to make that a usable space. And I think we've got a number of other things between you know, the tennis courts, Indian Hill, other facilities that, you know, it's probably not going to be top of the list for a while. Again, it could be a dog park has come up a number of times. It's probably not a great place for a dog park, but
By the main road, yeah.
yeah, and open and other things, but so yes, we would certainly like to see that space developed, and I think there's been discussion about it as a playing field. It's a little small for a regulation soccer field, but it certainly would be usable for practice fields and that sort of thing, so. We shall see.
We shall see. I like the idea of a dog park. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see then. Minutes we have, I meant to ask you, did I take minutes last time or did you? I forgot to look, I was gonna check. And town meeting, did you take those minutes or did I? I took some, but was I taking the official?
Meeting, I didn't cross my mind, so.
Okay, so all right, I can do those, because I think I had the motion written down, so I'll do the town meeting ones, and I'll have to look back and see, we'll have to do those at the next meeting. One other thing that I forgot to put on the agenda, didn't even cross my mind, was nominations and board, you know, Sam and I are, I think, the only two up for the select board appointees. I'll have to contact finance committee to see if Brian's going to continue. I haven't heard from him. Hopefully everybody else will continue from their respective boards. But if anyone wants to be chair, of course, that's always up for grabs. But we'll have to do that at our next meeting.
Yeah, Park and Rec has not done our reorganization meeting yet, so
Okay.
we don't have any new members, but.
Well, it's always good to shuffle
Do we know when the select board's gonna be making the appointed,
in June. Yeah, because we have to have our paperwork in by the end of May, and then we're going to start appointing in June. So we may have new blood. Who knows?
oh my gosh. Should we make a recommendation from this board? Sam, do you want to do it again?
Kind of file the form, yeah.
Excellent.
I don't think well, I mean, you can make a recognition if you want. I don't think it's necessary, but.
I haven't heard that anyone else has applied for it. I mean, it's been advertised, and I suppose if it comes down to that, maybe they would ask us. Sometimes they've asked if, you know, if there's an extra person.
Yeah.
So maybe if I hear of anyone, I don't know whether they'll let us know.
I mean, I think either way, you guys do a fantastic job on this board and we could endorse you either way. I think that'd be a good look, but
Make an endorsement, just in case.
so I make a motion that we recommend that Carolyn and Sam get reappointed as select board appointees to the committee.
I second it.
All in favor of the motion is, Vic, did you get that? It's frowning.
I was looking for minutes and I just want to discuss it. Okay, let me bring that up.
Oh, you know what? I just realized that we didn't have this posted on the agenda, so I don't know. if-
Oh, yes.
Right. Good point.
And if we're the only two, your recommendation doesn't mean
It
much.
doesn't-
Okay, strike that from me. It's still.
Okay, I'll just say minutes,
Will be available at next meeting.
none tonight.
Let me make sure those get out.
Thank you.
So,
Sorry about that.
oh, we're only in May. I keep thinking this is like, so,
Oh, by the way, the Carolyn.
Yeah.
The minutes you're looking for, are they from April or from March?
April,
Okay.
April, the third, whatever the. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't see it right away. I saw something from March, so I'll do a little search if you don't. turn
That
it
was the
on.
one, you know what, you might not have been there. That was the one that was at 6 o'clock. And we were done in like 25 minutes.
I don't even remember if I was there.
That was, yeah,
I was not.
yeah, Sam came in as we were finishing. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Matt, that might be on me. And we didn't get it recorded because I forgot to push the button.
Oh,
Okay. My fault all the way around. So June 21st would be the third Wednesday. You want to keep that schedule?
let's see.
June what?
June 21st.
Okay,
We have the open space
Oh,
planning
that's right.
hearing is that in person that night.
Oh, Andrew.
Saul's on there
Saul
too. It is partially, but I will not accept it.
But you missed the last one, so that.
I was there for the
I know,
beginning.
I-
We actually had it last night. They had to leave a little early for the Concom meeting.
Oh, he's stretching, put yourself too thin. So do we want to keep on a Wednesday or move to Thursday? I know Thursday's often planning board meeting.
let's do the Wednesday before the 21st.
No, that's historical committee.
Okay,
There'll be two of us.
The
at least,
28th?
maybe three of us.
Which is the last one in June.
20, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Is that okay with Anna and Bartlett? If
Miss
it's not-
Gowling.
June 28th?
Yes, yeah. Is that one of your PMBC meetings?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, why don't we move it to June 28th then?
I mean, does that work for you?
Maybe not.
That's right after school gets out, right? You'll be
Yeah.
partying.
I'll be like
You'll be at the
swimming.
How is it already that time of year? Like,
Uh,
crazy.
Almost
No, I
Christmas.
think it's the 28th.
Okay. All right, June 28th it is. 7 o'clock, we'll do the same thing. We'll do hybrid.
Sounds good.
Okay, anything else before we close off?
What time is it on June 28th?
7, put it at 7
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay,
Unless earlier. 7's usually good for me. Okay. So we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Was that already in the minutes template?
I didn't get the Linda part.
Second by- To adjourn, all in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Oh, yeah, we should have roll call, but
Oh, that's right.
Do we need to roll call with them?
Probably, I mean, we do have people that are virtual.
Yes,
so-
okay, we'll do a roll call meeting. A roll call vote, I mean, in favor of adjourning. Anna,
Yes.
Mark Bartlett,
Yes.
Pitt,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Carolyn is a yes, Andrew,
Yes.
and Linda.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you. All right,
Thank you.